Welcome back, Mongo Fix. Mongo start crossing stuff off the list. 1, make sure there's fuel in there. One of the other ways that you can check for fuel is to follow these two fuel lines coming up. One of these is pressure, one of these are turn. And they go up into the intake manifold, where in this generation engine, they had like a spider injection system going on in there in a way. But basically, there's supposed to be a cover on this zert fitting, but you can check for fuel pressure there. So just give her a little push, and if there's pressure in the line, then fuel will squirt out of the line. And there's none there. So we'll put our key in. Pump should be priming fuel. And there's no pressure there, so there is no fuel going to this engine. Well, that narrows it down. No fuel, no running engine. Mongo not going to get into the nitty-gritty as far as how much fuel pressure does it have. Just want to check to make sure fuel pump working or not. So to do that, we got to get this cover down here off because the fuel pump relay under there. And vans are tight, so you gotta work with vans a little bit. And there's always a little dingy fuel pump. There we go. And that little black one, the fuel pump relay. Relays are real basic machines. Electrical switches, basically. Low voltage circuit controls a high voltage circuit, or a 5 volt circuit control a 12 volt circuit. High amperage on the 12 volt. Either way, there's a drawing of them, and we can follow these pins, and we can test this relay to see at least if the switching device works right here. So we just take some leads, jumper 12 volt positive, and we're going to use like one of these screws as the ground. So according to this, we got pin 85, 86, that's the coil, the low side, 85, 86. Get a good ground and you can hear that cycling. So we know this relay's switch device is working. Now back there's a little harder to see, but we can follow our pin out here to see the corresponding pins there. And we want a jumper 12 volts to the pin for the fuel pump itself to see if that fuel pump can spin. Looking like 87, 87A, and 30. Not sure if it's switching on the high side or low side. So Mongo took a voltmeter, touched the black lead to ground, and then the red lead touched each one of those little terminals down there. And we find out that terminal 87 has 12 volts to it all the time. And if we look at our little schematic here, 87 there, so when this gets activated, it moves off of 87A and on to 87, so 30 should be our fuel pump. And 30 is this one here, so we'll just have to mate that up to the corresponding one. And we got a spark out of it. When you're standing at the front of the van, it's real hard to hear it, the fuel pump kicked on. So we can push our little zert, and nothing kicked on. So being that nothing kicked on for the fuel pump, and being that we got a lot of heat and smoke out of the terminal by the relay, Mongo's pretty concerned with that. So crawled up underneath the car and disconnected the wire harness before it gets to the fuel tank, did that relay test right by the fuel tank. Mongo could hear the fuel pump kick and stop. So that tells Mongo the fuel pump is shorted internally, and that's why there's all that current, that's why there's the smoke, and that's why we don't have any fuel pressure here yet. This thing gonna need a fuel pump. I'll get the truck jacked up. Nothing sketchy about that. That one's at an angle. Be careful jacking stuff up. We'll have to disconnect all these fuel lines. Got this big electrical connector here. So you just push the tab down, give her a wiggle. That's the whole harness to the fuel tank. Got to take that off. And then these little fuel lines, all these lines got to come off. These little tabs can push in, and sometimes they'll fight you. Fight your eyeballs. Oh, that's a little gas. That smells funny. So that's one of the bolts for one of the straps, so we're gonna get that one loose. Got some PB on there, 15 millimeter. We're gonna turn the torque up on that guy. There we go, maximum. Gotcha. Yeah, we got the filler neck for the fuel here, and down here we got a little hose clamp. So we'll just get that guy out of there. Just gotta get her loose, and then hopefully it don't fight. A lot of times these hoses on there are super tight, you know, because they've been on there forever. Or at least as old as the truck is. Not forever. But she loose now. Now we have to take these T27s. Oh boy, those are tight. That one not bad. Undo this fuel filler neck right from the body. And then that's just a little clip. Well, now that that filler neck all loosey-goosey, now we can get the last bolt out of that tank and drop her. Supposed to be a little captured knot on the inside of the frame here for this bolt, but it rounded out, so it all just spinning in there. So Mongo gonna cut the strap here. Just be sure don't cut the tank, you know. So once you get all the straps out and our little filler neck loose, now you can start lowering the jack, and you just gotta go slow. So once you get her down, you got this line to undo, and it just like the fuel line, you pinch the little white tabs, give her a wiggle, and then right above there, this is your evap canister, and this one's got couple tabs on the side to push and pop off. Just for reference, they're just big outer tube in there. That helped to get her all the way out though. That was just enough room to get this down, out from under the van, and get her in the barn so we can work on it a little easier and see what's going on. So this one is the 2 connector style. Always good to double check. Check RPO codes, see if you got the 1 connector style, and that's the electrical they're referring to, so we can undo those. And then we got the 2 fuel lines up here, one smaller, one bigger, so you really can't get it confused or backwards. But same thing, push the little tabs in, and those lines slide right out. Now we got access to the actual sending unit itself. And look like there's a little piece of corn in there. Somebody didn't eat all their vegetables. And picked up the cheapy one from AutoZone. Of course, cheapy's still 160 some odd bucks. And it come with one harness. Okay, why not? There are 2 instructions. Be sure to read instructions. You know, working with fuel well ventilated, you could blow yourself up, lots of fumes, be careful, you know. Clean your fuel tank, might void the warranty, sure. How to replace it. And so there's the tank filter. Pump in there, we got our fuel gauge. And I got the 2 connectors and the 2 different sizes. So this looked right. Some assembly, but overall looked pretty good. To get this pump assembly off, this is a giant snap ring. So you see how like you push that in and yep, starting to come off. You just slowly work around the whole thing. Mongo take it a lot easier than like the old Silverados where you have the tabs and you gotta hit them, because when those get really old, they get nasty and they'll fight you and they don't play nice. Mongo like the snap ring. Yay, and then that's off. Now, this Sometimes it needs a little wiggle and a little pop. There it goes. Because there's a great big O-ring in there. This big orange thing. And then fish your assembly out. And don't forget about your float. That's some nasty looking fuel. Oh, there's no filter left on there. Mongo, get the surface here cleaned up real good. We got the new pump. Got slight assembly. Gotta take our fuel level sensor device out. And that just slides in. Gets snapped into that plastic. Kit didn't come with a new O-ring, so we're reusing. So Mongo get his Parker O-lube. Because Mongo likes Parker O-lube for O-rings. Just gonna get that on there, rub it in, rub it around. Helps the O-rings and the rubber keep from cracking and tearing. You know, all the stuff you don't want O-rings to do. We can slide that O-ring all the way up. Kind of angle everything in. And this O-ring kind of rests inside on that little ledge. Ledge or lip, whatever you want to call it. And there's one little alignment tab there. So that way you know which direction it faces. And then you just got to push it all down. Make sure it kind of lined up good. It's got to get around that O-ring. Till the snap ring gets in. So, Mongo and Good Buddy got this thing in there, and boy, that was a bear to fight. So, if you don't replace the O-ring, get ready for a good fight. Good thing we had some Parker O-lube. But now we can connect our tank pressure switch, and then we can connect our connector for the fuel sending unit and the pump. And then we just got our lines here. Now, these lines do not come with the little snap thing. You got to take your old pump or sending unit and carefully get these off. So you can use like a T-spick or something, and basically you want to pry these tabs out just enough to get around this little ledge. And they'll come off, and then you slide it onto the new one. Just like that. Then you can put the line on there. And make sure they both snap. Before Mongo puts this tank in though, because this pump's been replaced once already, and we're doing it now, so there's a pretty good chance gonna have to do this again in the future. And Mongo really doesn't like dropping tanks. So Mongo's gonna cut a hole in the floor of the van. That way next time we just do it from the comfort of the van. So Mongo knows the floor of the van, the filler neck comes in and there's a little dent there. So just do a rough estimate, say 27 inches to the end of the tank. And the center of the sending unit's 21 inches from there. 14, 21, 27. And let's see here, we'll do center of the front strap. Let's do a 10, 15, and 20. And center of the rear strap, let's do a 17, 21, 25. Well, there's the filler neck, and so marked out locations of those measurements. Kinda. That's the exhaust heat shield. Kind of ran along there, and then across, and then the frame right there kind of lined up pretty close there. Couple inches from that cross member, pretty close to that cross member. When you do that, you want to make sure you got lots of room to get the fuel sending unit in and out and get all the connectors So Mongo gonna drill some holes up there at each corner and then cut her out from the top. That's a big hole. Fuel filler neck all reconnected to the body. Got our fuel lines up front all reconnected. Got the front strap back in. For right now, Mongo just got a ratchet strap on the rear strap. Mongo will show how to fix that later, different video or something. Then doing all this moving around, the rusty, crusty brake line, C-brake going to the rear. Seems to sit in there nice, so when this happen again, Mongo's not dropping the tank. Later on, Mongo make a nice little hatch for this, film it and whatnot, but for now, that's good. Oh, we key on and check. Oh yeah, she getting fuel now. But still no spark. Well, if you like this video, be sure to like this video. If you like this video and other videos from Mongo Fix, be sure to subscribe. Mongo, thank you.